Hello, John Wilmot School. This is my second reflection I've recorded for you, and I've got to say I'm quite enjoying them. So this would be our second week of the summer term, and what would we normally be doing second week of the summer term? Well, our Year 11s would be ready to be sitting their terminal examinations along with the Year 12s and Year 13s. That's not happening. Year 10s would be finishing their content in lots of subjects, ready to do revision as they go into Year 11, and their practical elements of lots of their subjects. We're not there with those either. And then Year 7, 8 and 9 would be looking at assessments and all the feedback they would get from there in order for them to carry on into the next academic year. But things are really different. But we can't lose sight of the fact that actually things will return to a normal sooner, we hope, rather than later. And I say a normal because it might not be exactly the same for a little while, but it will become to resemble something a little bit more familiar. And so I wanted to talk to you about all of the work that we've done around how you learn, because you are still learning at home. You're still going over your subject specific content and reviewing and recapping and retrieving all of that learning that you've done. And we've done lots of work, haven't we, together over EEE, our teaching and learning model. And I was thinking about that in my own context, because meetings and collaboration can't happen face to face as it normally does. For us as well as for you, I've had to learn to use something called Microsoft Teams. And when my husband was showing me how to use it, ready for some leadership meetings and some meetings I had with other colleagues, he explained it and modelled it, and I asked questions, and then I had to go, and then he told me what I wasn't quite getting right. And so it just made me think, actually, in all of our walks of life, EEE applies. And I've spoken to you about Malcolm Gladwell and the 10,000 hours, and how you need to be revisiting and refining and reviewing everything that you're doing. So we know it is practical. And perhaps actually in this time when you've not been at school, perhaps you've learned something new. I know that some of you who play an instrument would have been practicing. And again, EEE comes into that explanation where you get the knowledge, the modelling, the question, the deliberate practice, and the feedback, even if it's critiquing yourself. And even if you haven't been practicing something new, even in terms of making sense of everything that's going on around us, I think EEE applies. You get the information, the explanation, and then you might look for that in practice. Where can you see it? The modelling. Then you might ask questions about it, or have someone ask questions to you. And then you might apply that understanding and ask further questions, or refine your thinking based on that deliberate practice or that application. And so I suppose what I just wanted to speak to you about was the fact that you have got work at home and you are completing work, whether it's the pixel packs that have gone home with the points, or subject specific work packs, or the National Academy lessons, which are fabulous. I've been using those with my own children. They're really, really good. Again, those stages of learning apply. They absolutely, and it's really important that in times where things are really unfamiliar, we remember what is familiar to us, and we remember what works. And at the end of this half term, towards the end of May, you'll have assessments sent home, and you will need to apply all of that learning. So it's really, really important that you are doing everything you can to make sure you're making the progress that you can. And if you're stuck, there is a letter on the website, FAQs, and it's gone home as well, telling you what to do. So you can get in contact with school, with or specific faculties and subject areas, and someone will get back to you. You are not alone. And with that final thought, you are not alone. I wanted to end on a quote which I came across in a book I read on New Year's Eve. And I was just looking at this book because I was doing something for a Year 6 video that I've made. And I haven't used it in that video. I wanted to save it for you because it is about the familiar, I suppose. So this book is called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse. And it's fabulous, but it's a bit strange for me because it's mainly illustrations, it's mainly pictures, but it's just so beautiful. I've bought it for 3 people as presents since reading it New Year's Eve. But I want to end on this quote. "Sometimes I feel lost," said the boy. Me too, said the mole, but we love you, and love brings you home.